Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and what the U.S. Secretary had to say as it pertains to when you are overseas, as in the case of the PPP, they love to attack people in other countries. And specifically here in the United States of America, the U.S. Secretary of State is saying it's a big no. It is not going to happen. So if our executive producer can get in touch quickly with Tom Anderson, no stranger, he's an honorary Guyanese. Our executive producer will get in touch with Tom, and we will have Tom shortly right here on 107.1 FM. But let's go to Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta. Travis is there. Where is Sharon? Sharon, you got a duck. But this is serious business. Gwinnett County Medical Examiner's Office. Let's hear from Travis Chase what's happening there. Travis, what's happening?
The body of 11-year-old Adriana Young arrived here in Atlanta, Georgia for a second autopsy. That autopsy will be conducted tomorrow at the building to my left. HGP Nightly News will bring you comments from the pathologists and the lead attorney on the matter, Dr. Dexter Todd. Stay tuned.
All right, thank you so much, Travis Chase, Gwinnett County. The second autopsy is going to be conducted tomorrow on the body of 11-year-old Adriana Young. Her parents are out there, her two siblings are there, and her aunt is also out there. How significant is this, Tom Anderson? Good night, sir. Let's begin with that.
Hey, good night. Well, it all depends because, we're in the midst of a major government cover-up from the PPP. So, they're going to try to do everything in their power, buy off anybody they have to buy off, do whatever they've got to do to make this go the way that they want it to go, right? And by the way, there's been multiple versions of how they've wanted this to go. Because remember, the first version of this is they wanted this to be a case where young little girl Adriana left the hotel with some guy, right, in some car. So that was the first story that they tried to hoist upon everyone in the country and onto the world, that she ran off with some guy. And then they sent their propagandist critic to the hotel pool to confirm that, no, the girl is not on the property. And so critic, the propagandist for the PPP, he goes to the hotel, he goes live, and he shows video footage of the pool being empty to try to confirm that their first story, that she left the hotel with some guy. Okay. What was the guy's name? Alberto or something? Orlando. That's right. So she left with Orlando, right? And critic gets on the live and he tells the country, look, the pool is clear. There's no child in this pool. It's obvious. If there was a child in the pool, you would see it right here on my live. No one's in the pool. He said the family had searched the pool earlier, and he said that was ridiculous. Why would you search a pool that's obviously clear and there's no body in the pool? So the first story that they put out there, their own guy proved to be incorrect, because the next day the child's body's in the pool.
If we stick a pin there quickly, Tom, please, as we say goodnight to those of you who are now joining us. Let's go to that video with that guy, critic, so-called journalist, and you'll get to see exactly what happened. That pool was examined, and critic was there, and they all got caught with their pants down. Let's go to that clip, please, operator.
We check this pool.
That is saying 7 feet 6 inches, 5 feet 5 inches. If you look at it, right? They're saying 5'5". They're saying 7'6". They're saying 8 feet. So for 8 feet is reasonable depth for a pool. So you would have to go in and check in the pool, right? The young lady is not in the pool. So it could be ruled out that she drowned.
Okay, so the camera was there. You could see all the way at the bottom of the pool. And now if that little girl, Adriana Young, was at the bottom of that pool, or even if there was, let's say, a trouser or a shirt or a dress or a skirt or whatever, you would be able to see it at the bottom of the pool. Who are these guys fooling, Tom?
That's what I'm saying. We're in the middle of a cover-up, because the first story didn't turn out to be the case. Like I say, the first story was Adriana left with Orlando, and Critic came that night to prove that the girl was not on the property. Okay, they were adamant that was the story, and that's what they were sticking to. Now,
so he got caught there by thinking that he was doing a favor to that hotel owner by rushing down there to prove a point in order to go along with the red car and Orlando, and they went east towards Reed and Hoop, and you guys leave the hotel, please. Look at this senior police officer as well, Tom. Continue, please.
Yes, the senior police officer telling everyone, look, look, we saw her. We got her on security camera leaving with Orlando. This is what the police were saying. And then they say, oh no, there are no security cameras. There wasn't a single security camera on the property. So that's when the story starts to change, right? And it's like, well, wait a minute. Well, why is the story changing? So now they have like their third or fourth version of their story of what happened. And it's probably not the last version, because I think this autopsy is going to, in Atlanta, is going to raise some serious questions. Okay, there are going to be some surprise results in this autopsy. All right. And when those results come through and it's shown that, wait, this isn't so simple and cut and dry as what people believe, that's when these guys are going to have to go to their fifth, sixth, seventh version of their story. And who knows what they're going to do and what they're willing to do and what lengths they're willing to go to in order to make that story the story of the day on this issue. So that's what we're in the middle of. I'm not saying that these guys personally did anything to this child. No, what I'm saying is as a government, it's an election year, and these guys are so they're political animals. Okay, they're so obsessed with the politics that anything that could make them look bad, they want to make disappear. I believe they saw this Adriana situation as something that could make them look bad. And so they've been on a war path to try to make this disappear. They're trying to make up any story possible to make it go away. And unfortunately, that's only making it worse. The incompetence is causing people to ask more questions. It's causing people to think that this is way worse, like it's more prevalent than ever known before. So it's becoming a much bigger issue because these guys aren't allowing the truth to set everyone free on this. Okay. And so at the end of the day, Mark, and for the audience, I think it's that time, right? There were witnesses there at that hotel. We're finally at that point. You know, this is their opportunity to tell the truth before these autopsy results in Atlanta come through. This is their opportunity. Okay. If I were any one of them. Yeah.
They're not going to tell the truth.
No. Look, man, this is one of those things. This is a little girl's life, an innocent child's life. This goes beyond politics. It goes beyond whatever people want to think it is. And there has to be at least one individual that was there that day with a conscience that knows that this is on their soul, that this is the blood of a child that will come forward and tell the truth about what happened here. I think that ultimately is what's going to unlock this whole thing. Is someone who was there is going to have to be brave enough to tell the truth and finally put everything to rest so people know finally what happened.
All right, 28 minutes after 9 o'clock, Tom Anderson with us here this evening. Let's head back to Travis Chase. He's in Atlanta. Tomorrow is the big day. We are going to hear, and Tom is correct, whether there's this vast contradiction as to what the corrupt government of Guyana would like to say or would like people to believe about the circumstances that led to the death, the murder. Thus far, we're treating it as a murder of little Adriana Young. Let me say that, it's really good to see the parents of Adriana Young. They have been granted permission by the U.S. To visit the United States of America to ensure that this second autopsy is conducted in a very transparent manner. And they were granted permission to enter the U.S. The parents were granted permission. They're two little remaining children were also granted permission, and the aunt is also up here with the parents to witness this second autopsy. And things are looking up in terms of justice for the family. Tomorrow, it's going to be a big day. Let's hear what Travis Chase has to say about that big day tomorrow. Travis?
The body of 11-year-old Adriana Young arrived here in Atlanta, Georgia for a second autopsy. That autopsy will be conducted tomorrow at the building to my left. HGP Nightly News will bring you comments from the pathologists and the lead attorney on the matter, Dr. Dexter Todd. Stay tuned.
All right. So, Tom, we heard today from the government controlled media houses that the retired detective from Toronto, or somewhere there in Canada, left the country, apparently, and submitted his report. And his report is as expected. No foul play. Just a matter of a couple of days, he went in, he just moved around, and he gave them a report and said, there was no foul play. And he's out of there. Your take, sir.
Well, like I've been saying, you know, the key to independence for any society is going to be, you know, your ability to be able to police your own population, to be able to perform all of the basic duties and functions that are needed for a functioning modern society. You have to be able to educate your own population and train your own people to do it. And the reason why is because it's a lot harder if Guyana had their own domestic, highly trained investigators that were, you know, trustworthy and not corrupt. It would be really hard to get them to do a bad investigation because they have their own national pride. It's their own home country. It's where they're from. It's really hard to take someone who's from their own country, who's a trained professional, who has pride in what they do, who bleeds what they do, and feel that it's a part of their duty to their nation and to their God, even to take someone like that and have them do a bad investigation to cover up a crime. It's very hard to get people like that to make that happen. You can get a foreigner to walk away. Someone who's not from Guyana, you can pay them to walk away. You can threaten them to walk away. There are many, many things you can do to a foreigner to make them just go away, right? And so that's the problem. Guyana has to rely upon all of these outside professionals to come in when there's a pivotal moment in time. And there's no one there inside the country domestically to handle serious problems. And so you can't trust the results. And there's no way to know up from down, left from right. And it turns into a situation where foreigners look at Guyana and decide to rip the country off and just say, hey, man, these guys don't know up from down. They don't know any better. I can do anything I want, charge them, they'll pay me. And who's going to say otherwise? That's the situation that you guys find yourselves in right now. And it's unfortunate. So that's why I'm not surprised of the result of this investigation, because too many things can go wrong. And he's not a Guyanese person. And so at the end of the day, he doesn't have a true vested interest in having a true result. He just wants to do the job that the people who are paying him to do. He wants to do that job. And you know, the PPP are paying him. So what job do they want him to do? They want him to do a job that says nothing happened here. And that's what he did. And he went back home.
Good. And he collected a cool, maybe 150,000, 200,000 US, and he walked off. And look, you can't blame that guy. If that's what they wanted, he walked in there and he gave them a report, and that's it. But this should have been conducted by a team of investigators. They were able to share notes with each other, compare notes with each other. That is how you do an investigation. You don't bring, especially at this an investigation like this, the murder, as we are maintaining at this point in time, the murder of an 11-year-old girl. You need to get to the bottom of it. But yet the PPP regime, Irfan Ali and these guys, they want to bully the family and say, no, you got to accept this, accept our report, accept this. And because the family doesn't want to accept anything, Irfan Ali says, no, that's it. So he's vexed. He's all upset about that. How insensitive and how callous and how cold-hearted could he be, Tom?
Well, they're like I say, these guys are obsessed with getting reelected. And it looks to me like they're obsessed with trying to do in Guyana what's been done in many countries around the world. When, a country gets its independence from colonial rulers, they go through some political acrimony, and usually what happens is one party ultimately just takes over the entire country, right? They jail the opposition parties on trumped up charges. They strong arm everyone. They take over the country, and they rule it as a dictatorship. That's usually how these things go, and it looks like that's the direction the PPP want to take Guyana into. I've even heard Jack Dale say multiple times in the past that his goal is to make sure that the PNC, APNU, that they never win an election ever again. What does that mean? He's saying he wants the PPP to have a dictatorship, a permanent dictatorship in the country. And so this has happened in other nations. You can look around the world. It's happened in Africa, and countries there especially. And by the way, these arrests of opposition people claiming that they are inciting terrorism and stuff like that, every time you hear the terrorism thing, that's when a government's trying to take over the country and be a dictatorship. That's the main tool they're going to use, is terrorism type laws. And they'll try to use that to claim that whoever goes out and says anything that they don't like is a terrorist and lock you up, until they get to the point where they lock everybody up who leads the opposition parties. They sanction them, and they just strong arm the whole country. So that's the direction the PPP is headed into. And it's sad, but I don't think they can be that successful. I think that's what's vexing them, that they thought they could have done this by now, but it's a lot harder to get the people of Guyana to go along with such a dictatorship. So they're vexed, and that's where we're at right now.
And that is so true, Tom, that anytime you speak out, you say something that they don't like, it's terrorism, it's incitement, it is, they have the ERC, which is the Ethnic Corrupt Relations Commission, the Corrupt Ethnic Relations Commission, go after you, the strong arm, whether you're in the United States, wherever you are, we're going to get you. How dare you speak out against the PPP regime? How dare you go in Parliament, those members of Parliament, and mention that word corruption? And if you say whatever, and we don't like what you're saying, is terrorism charge, is treason, is all manner of things. It's dangerous times, Tom. I agree with you. And let's go in terms of folks who are sitting in the United States of America, have an opinion, exercising their constitutional rights. Jagdev and Irfan and Anil Nandalal, who, by the way, wasn't on because he said they're fictional difficulties. I think he said technical, right? Technical difficulties. So he wasn't on. But Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State, had this to say, basically, talking about the most cherished rights we enjoy as Americans, the right legally enshrined in our Constitution has set us apart as a beacon of freedom around the world, and blah, blah, blah. So he's saying here, today, I'm announcing a new visa restriction policy that will apply to foreign nationals. Jagdeo, Irfan Ali, Anil. Let me repeat this. Today, I'm announcing, that's the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Today's his birthday, by the way. If he's watching, I doubt that, though. Never know. Happy birthday to the Secretary of State. He's our friend tonight. Today, I am announcing a new visa restriction policy that will apply to foreign nationals who are responsible for censorship of protected expression in the United States. It is unacceptable for foreign officials, Jagdeo, Irfan Ali, Anil, where are you guys? It is unacceptable for foreign officials to issue or threaten arrest warrants on U.S. citizens or U.S. residents for social media posts on American platforms while physically present in the United States. Tom, we'll take a commercial break. We got to be back. I want to hear your take on that. But those, the couple more who are preparing to endorse the PPP, we got them. We know who they are. We'll be right back. I notice someone is asking, Tom, why did you laugh? But that's okay, Tom. Hey, this Sunday, June 1st, out there in Brooklyn, go out in your numbers. I might be there. Who knows? Some people complain, Tom, that they don't see me at these events. I'm old man now, guys. I'm up there in age, and I've got to be careful walking around. Guyana Independence Parade, Sunday, June 1st. You got to be out there. It starts, just read the flyers, guys. You just got to be there. Adriana's her parents are going to be there, her siblings, and her aunt. You know her aunt, right? I like her bravery. This is what I like about her. I actually do. This is what I like.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr.
affects all the
Ali,
citizens.
I saw you block your road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling you.
Mr. Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug, Mr. Ali.
Exactly. She's going to be there. Ali being a scrape and a tug. Tom, you're laughing all the way tonight. But let's go back to this point here where Secretary of State Marco Rubio is saying it's unacceptable and that it is unacceptable for foreign officials like Jack Deere and Irfan and Anil. Well, he's not saying that. I'm putting that in. Officials to issue or threaten arrest warrants on U.S. citizens or U.S. residents for social media posts on American platforms while physically present on U.S. soil. Now, it continues here. It is similarly unacceptable for foreign officials to demand that American tech platforms adopt global content moderation policies or engage in censorship activity that reaches beyond their authority and into the United States of America. Thomas Anderson, talk to us, please.
Well, you know, I'm laughing, Mark. See, here's why I'm laughing. So for the audience, just so you understand, right? So people like Mark, when he does his show every night, okay, whether you guys know it or not, you know, like he said, he's an old man now. He can't just go walk around in any parade. He has to watch where he's going. It's because over the years, he's made enemies in Guyana, okay? He's made enemies with the PPP. And unfortunately, the PPP, with the newfound oil revenue that's coming in, these guys, they feel like they can basically do whatever they want anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are. If you say anything they don't like, they can reach out there and snatch you whenever they feel like it. This is their attitude. This is how they operate. Okay. Mark doesn't talk about it to the audience because it's a depressing thing to talk about all the time. You don't want to talk, but that's something that he has to live with. And everyone who talks about the PPP regime in any way that isn't positive, they all have to live with it if you have a platform. Now, if you're nobody, they don't care. But if you have a platform, okay, these guys are very aggressive and they are not, you know, in a position where they think, oh, well, we don't want to bribe U.S. officials to go after somebody in America. They will do that. That's how they operate. They bribe American officials. Okay. They do it a lot. That's what's going on with the PPP. That's the truth. And so the reason why Marco Rubio had to do this, he had to do this. And the reason why he had to do it is because these guys are out of control in the PPP and other governments around the world. They are out of control. And they believe that they can reach into the United States and harm American citizens who speak their minds. They believe that. They no longer have a respect for us. And so Marco Rubio is laying down the rule of the law now, and he's going to start snatching visas. And he's going to start snatching them to send a message to people like Jagdeo and others who think that for some reason they are above our laws. They're not. And so he's going to start snatching their visas. He's going to start going after them because he can. He has the power to do that. And that's just too bad for you and the PPP. And this is the thing about the PPP. That's the game they play. The game they play is if you have the power, you do whatever you want. Well, we have the power in America. So what? We do whatever we want. See, that's the problem. We don't actually do that to you guys. Okay. We don't just say, well, we have the power. We have the nuclear bomb. So we just make you do whatever we want. We're not doing that to you. So you believe the PPP. I'm talking about the PPP now. They believe since we're not doing that to them, that we're weak and they can take advantage of our weakness, and they can do things like attack U.S. citizens. No longer. So Rubio has given them the warning. He's going to start snatching visas. Don't be surprised when you see PPP guys losing their visas because these guys can't help themselves. They're going to see this warning from Marco Rubio and they're going to ignore it. They're still going to try to go after U.S. citizens like they always do, and they're going to get their visas snatched. Mark my words. That's why I'm laughing, because I know these guys can't help themselves. We are going to see PPP visas snatched between now and the election. They can't help it, and it's going to happen, and that's why I'm laughing.
Tom, thank you so much for that. I'll be honest, they never really bothered in a sense with those sort of threats. I've always ignored them because they are a bunch of nimakarams, as we would say in Hindi. However, Tom, those of you who have evidence of the Ethnic Relations Commission threatening you as a result of your comments on social media, those of you who reside in the United States of America, and I hope those Pakus, Tom, those individuals at ERC, I hope they're watching. It is a crime to threaten folks living in the United States of America because of their constitutional rights. First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And we live in the United States of America. We are protected by that Constitution. We are protected by that Constitution. And as I've always attempted, and I've said to those in the audience, ignore the ERC because it is wrong. It is illegal what the ERC has been doing all along. And what has to happen now, if you have the evidence of the ERC threatening you guys and you live in the United States, whether you're a US citizen or a permanent resident, ensure that you have that evidence. And you can have what is called a class action lawsuit against the government of Guyana. And take this evidence to say that as US citizens, or whether you're a permanent resident and you are being attacked by the government of Guyana, that's the evidence you want. Tom, I'm not sure if you've heard, but the ERC, the Ethnic Relations Commission, they monitor these shows. And whenever someone says something they don't like about the government, the ERC would threaten them. Threaten them, Tom. Mm-hmm. What are your on all of that sort of threats coming from Guyana?
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that's going to stop. They do that because that's their way of saying, see, we can flout U.S. law. We can reach into America and come after you. We can go anywhere we want because we are the PPP. That's what they're doing, right? And so that stuff is going to stop. The Chinese do the same thing, right? They were the ones who set up police stations, and I was the one who discovered their police station in New York City and exposed that, right? And
Tom, not to cut you, a lot of people don't know that in terms of, they may have probably seen that on the news, fake police stations, Chinese police stations in New York and other places. A lot of them may not know that you're the one that actually discovered that. But continue. Yep. Kudos to you.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. Look on my Facebook page. I've got my book is coming out in October. Gold Bar Bob. That's
Tom. We got to buy. Tom, we got to buy that book. Those of you got to go out and support Tom. Tom, it's $30. I'm sure I'm going to find that. Wayne Caesar is going to find that as well. Gavin Caesar and all of you guys watching the show. Brenda Braithwaite, Colin Barnwell, all of you, Raquel Gentle, Mary Figueroa, Desiree Simon, all of you, Lachman Aziz, you've got to support Tom. Tom, sorry that I cut you there again. But good night to Wayne Caesar. Wayne is on with us. Let me just make this announcement as we have 90 days more for elections. Wayne Caesar is usually on Saturday. Well, guess what? Wayne days are going to increase. Wayne will be on not just Saturdays, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesdays, and so forth and so on. So for those of you who are fans of Over to You, his days on 107.1 FM will increase as we approach elections time here. Let me say good night to Otto Martin. Otto, good to see you here. But Tom, go right ahead. As the ERC and the PPP attempt, and including Anil Nandalal, the Attorney General of Guyana, they oftentimes believe they can threaten people. Oh, we can get you wherever you are. And they believe that because they're friends now with, or supposedly friends with Marco Rubio, they believe they can still do everything that they want. But they're getting a rude awakening, Tom. This must have shocked them. Huh?
Yeah, no, this is, if you read it, it's almost like targeting them specifically. Okay. Like if you read the release from the State Department, man, the description of what they're doing when it comes to these visas, when it comes to these visa revocations, it's like everything the PPP does. So that's why I keep laughing, because I'm looking at it, I'm saying, man, these guys got to be reading this and just shaking their head, going, "Oh, what do you mean? So we can't shut these guys down over the next 3 months for our election?" No, you can't. Like, it's an election, so people are going to talk. Okay. And no, you're not going to arrest them. They believe they're going to be able to arrest whoever says anything bad against them in Guyana and abroad. Maybe they can pull it off in Guyana. I don't even think they can pull it off there. Okay. But that's not going to happen. I don't know why they're attempting to do it.
The other thing too, they threaten people. And that's why I'm saying I don't bother with Jagdeo, Jagdeo and his threats and these sort of things, right? But what they do also is they go after individuals and their comments, and they would threaten individuals. Some government officials do that as well. If you guys know that, if you have that, screenshot it. Of course, once it's genuine, send it over to us, send it to Tom, and the pressure will continue. They believe, Tom, that because this is a Trump administration, they believe that Trump will love them, and that means they can do anything in Guyana. I bet they're having a rude awakening, and that came as that probably shocked them. Maybe that's why Anil said he's having technical difficulties. Gone into hiding, can do his show. But how many of you, let's go to the audience, how many of you guys are happy about this here? And they're talking about visa restrictions. Members of the Guyana police force cannot threaten you for your views on social media as long as you are on the soil, U.S. soil. You're in the United States of America, and therefore all of us, we are entitled to the constitutional rights as citizens, as whether you're green card holders, whatever it is, you are. All of us are entitled to the rights and the protection of the Constitution of the United States of America. And no country, whether it's Guyana or wherever else, could stretch their arms into the United States and say, hey, we want to persecute you because of your opinion. That you are not entitled to your opinion. And now let me just make this quite clear, that this is your opinion based on the constitutional rights that you have here in the United States of America. It does not speak, though, of criminal activity. Now that may be a different story, but we're talking about expression, freedom of expression, right here on social media. So Otto Martin, continue doing what you're doing. All the other guys, continue doing what you are doing, but also be responsible. Not be reckless, but be responsible. If you got to tell the PPP and Jagdeo to go to hell and whatever, it's okay. You can do that. You can have an opinion. Tom, I'm so happy about that, because I've seen some brothers and sisters on social media. They're so happy that they started talk all sorts of things now. They're happy about it, Tom. Good news.
Good. Yeah, speech has been chilled by the PPP. You can tell, you can see it. People don't like to speak about the truth about what happens in Guyana. People don't want to talk about the corruption. People are scared to talk about it because these guys are out of control. Like they're very aggressive.
Tom, you know why they're afraid? Because the government of Guyana, Tom, is so corrupt that some folks have relatives back in Guyana who have a little job. They may be working at GRA. They may be working at the Food and Drugs Administration. And they're afraid for their loved ones back home. So much for democracy in Guyana. Speaking of the Food and Drugs Administration, what sort of corruption we hear that's happening there, that they're raiding business places now, business places that they don't like. Maybe they just feel they could ransack individuals' places. Today, they went to a couple of business places in Georgetown, Quality Food Mart, a beautiful place, honest business people. And they ransacked that place and they disrespected those people. I will talk more about that though. But Tom, you were making a point, man. I'm sometimes in the habit of
I think you
because of
no,
excitement.
Mark, you make the best point. Like when you say that, there are people who have family members back home that they don't want their family members persecuted, right? Well, that's the same thing for you or for me. I'm cautious as to who I speak to in Guyana, not because I'm worried that something bad will happen to me. No, I'm worried about the person in Guyana because I'm saying to myself, well, if the government there is monitoring conversations and they don't like me for what I'm saying, and they see I'm speaking to someone in Guyana on a regular basis, maybe they go and hurt that person, or they try to pressure that person, or they try to get that person to spy on me or something. This is how they operate, the PPP, right? This is what they do. And so they're monitoring people's conversations. They're doing all types of things, spying on their own population. They don't believe in basically any type of privacy rights whatsoever. And so when they're doing that, it makes it very precarious for anyone to speak to anyone because there's a worry that they could be aggressive towards anyone that may just be your friend and they don't like you. And so when you have that type of situation in our own backyard, this is the United States of America. We don't like it when there are nations like being run by people like the PPP who rule the way that they rule over the land, who stamp out free speech, who intimidate anyone who tries to speak or tell the truth, they try to totally eviscerate any type of accountability or transparency. This is not what we want in a country that's partnered with us. We don't want that as a neighbor. We don't want that. And people like me are going to continue to say it over and over again. They may not like it in the PPP, but they're going to have to change. And the reason why they're going to have to change is because that type of behavior is unacceptable. And this is why Rubio is putting out what he's putting out, because I'm telling you, they're going to start snatching visas until these people start to change, because we're not going to accept the type of activity that comes out of the PPP politically in attacking free speech in our own hemisphere. We're not going to allow it anymore. That's the end of it. And that's what I see in what Marco Rubio released today.
Thank you so much, Tom Anderson. Tom, oftentimes we are subjected to insults, and I say we, those of us who are host, talk show host, Facebook host, whatever, host and activist and whatever else, we are subjected to sometimes vile languages and abuses and threats on our lives and families' lives, and all because of our views, and whether as American citizen or green card holders or whatever it is. Every single day we are subjected to those sort of threats. And especially so, Tom, every Thursday, this guy, Jagdeo, launch attacks every Thursday on individuals residing outside of Guyana because he, Jagdeo, doesn't like what he is hearing. And I feel offended now, that so much that I feel that Jagdeo, they may have to feel the squeeze with some sort of class action lawsuit against them, a civil lawsuit against them for violating our rights and for targeting us and for insulting us and for putting our lives in danger. I feel that maybe that's the route. Sorry, go ahead.
That can be done, and you can also go out. I think these lobbying firms, the PPP, keep hiring. I think they're fair game too, because I think they are the ones who are doing a lot of the dastardly stuff that shouldn't be done, but spying on people and stuff. Going out there, like who do you think is sending in legal complaints to social media platforms to silence people who are saying things that PPP do not like? Do you think it's someone from Guyana sending that to Facebook, or do you think it's an attorney that the lobbying firm in the United States hired? Right? So I guarantee you that what's happening is the PPP, they hire this lobbying firm, and the lobbying firm is doing all the dirty work. they're the ones who are getting the attorneys and stuff to go after people's social media posts and everything else, right? And so I think they're fair game too for this stuff. I think they're fair game too.
And if they continue to harass and violate the rights of American citizens, folks living in the United States of America, I agree with you. The lobbyists and the lobby firms are fair game as well, because they cannot, on behalf of a foreign government, violate the rights of citizens of the United States of America. It just cannot happen. And I'm glad that you're bringing that up, that it is fair game all around. Fair game. There is
game to go after them.
There is a in law, there's this term preponderance. There's a preponderance of evidence that Jack Day personally goes after individuals for their views. It is as though Jack Day believes that everyone should just be a Bond or a Jacobs and these guys and just sing praises onto them. And then when you sing praises onto them, you're in the good books. But when you don't sing praises onto them, they threaten your life. Some of those officials in Guyana, they say, come back to Guyana, come back, and you're going to see what's going to happen. And some of them come to America. They have some ex-policemen in the United States of America, some of whom were part of the Black Clothes, some of whom are part of the Phantom Squads, and all these sort of things are threatening people here in the United States of America. It's got to stop. But look who is putting a stop to it. Marco Rubio, the man who visited Guyana. That Concussion Road has worked miracles in favor of democracy. Tom?
Well, you know what's interesting, Mark, for the audience, just so you know. See, Marco Rubio comes into this situation from a different perspective than like Mike Pompeo. Okay, if Mike Pompeo comes at it from this, Eurosceptic, this European perspective with a lot of Israel sort of, Israeli support type thing going on. That's his cup of tea. That is not Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is coming from the anti-Fidel Castro contingency of people who were run out of Cuba, people who were trained by the CIA, who tried to overthrow Castro through the Bay of Pigs, their children. He's coming from the perspective of like, Rubio knows, for example, that Guyana was one of the first countries to recognize the Fidel Castro as the leader of Cuba when he took over officially. And so Rubio knows that, and Rubio remembers this. And so when Rubio looks at Guyana with an eye like, nah, I don't know about you guys. Like, you guys have been close with the Cubans, you've been close with the Chinese, and me and my family have been against these guys for generations now, right? And so he's coming from a totally different perspective, and the PPP should understand that he's not just going to believe anything out of these guys, because Rubio is getting information not just from the U.S. government, but he's getting information from the whole Cuban network all over the Caribbean, and they know what's going on, man. They know what's going on. So, yeah, I don't think they should assume Marco is going to be anybody's friend in Guyana, because I think he's coming from a place where naturally he's just not going to want to be friends with anyone in Guyana. My opinion.
Absolutely. 3 minutes after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, sorry, Tom. And, we have seen the Attorney General of Guyana talking about going after individuals, and they've identified a couple of folks that they want as a result of their expression, their freedom of expression, their political views. We know who those few folks are in the United States. And so it could be a case. I'm not just saying that this is all about Guyana. It's the Chinese, it's the others who go after dissidents and go after activists as well. So this is not just confined to Guyana, but it bears a very familiar touch on what's happening there in Guyana. And so, when these folks make requests for persons who are living in the United States of America, that we want to get these individuals. That is what they do. That is exactly what they do. And so, because of all of these things, the U.S. State Department probably they have reviewed and said these things are ridiculous. How dare you say that you want to prosecute or persecute individuals for their views on American soil? It is just not going to happen at all. So it's a big day. It's a big day for Marco Rubio. It's his birthday. And it's also a big day for democracy. It is victory for democracy. It is victory for freedom of expression. It is victory for free speech in the United States of America. And no dictators, whether in Guyana, whether in Venezuela, whether wherever they are going to want to put their hands and pluck individuals out of the United States of America because of their opinions. It's a victory indeed, and I welcome it. Tom, your closing remarks, anything you wish to say as we prepare to wrap up?
No, I mean, this is good. I mean, so it just so happens, guys, that, as an American, I do, it seems like every day that goes by, what I have to say about what's going on may be, more and more important as each day goes by. And the reason why is because the partnership between the United States and Guyana, each day that goes by gets deeper and deeper. Why? Because the amount of oil revenue that's going to be coming online is just going to be eye-popping. And it's an American company, and it's being protected by American warships. Okay, so we're here now. The Americans are here. We haven't been in Guyana ever, basically, but we're here now. And now that we're here, it's going to take people like me, people like Mark, to help everyone involved here in the United States and everyone in Guyana to get more acclimated to each other, to make our partnership go, smoother and better for the people of Guyana. And the reason why everything, as an American, the reason why I'm so focused on the people of Guyana benefiting everything, and I don't even worry about America, is because I know that if the people of Guyana are thriving, America will do just fine. We will be so happy, because I'm telling you, a thriving Guyana is a blessing to us as a nation in America, right? And so that's my focus. Is just to make sure that, I can do everything I can do in my power to explain to the people of Guyana, like, this is how it works in the United States. This is how we do things when we're dealing with your nation. This is, this is probably what's happening inside of our government when you see us do certain things. And so for this one tonight, this is an important one. And yes, even though this what Rubio put out applies to every country around the world, I'm telling you, when you read it closely, it really lines up to target regimes like the PPP. Okay, it really does. And it's needed. It's been needed for a long time. This just proves, okay, that the Marco Rubio State Department is actually on top of things. They actually are, okay? And they're doing things that will actually make a difference. Because I'm telling you now, when they start snatching PPP visas over going after people for speaking their minds, that is going to teach these guys they've gone too far. And when that happens, it's going to be good for everyone in Guyana, because everyone in Guyana should have the right to peacefully be able to explain to anyone they want how they feel, no matter what that opinion is. And that should apply to everyone else around the world. As an American, I'm all for that. I'm pushing for that. I have family members who have died for this. I have family members who have been in our military for this. This is what we do. We're all about free speech. And so, yes, this is a happy day. This is a great day. I think this is a great example of the benefits of partnering with the United States of America as opposed to countries like China, because China would never do this. Okay, China is all about stifling free speech. They don't want free speech in Guyana or anywhere else in the world about what's happening in Guyana. But when you're dealing with the United States and you're partnering with us, we may not be perfect. We may be jerks. We may also rip you off. That will happen. I promise you, it probably will happen. So you have to be very careful when dealing with us. But with that said, there are some great positives. And the biggest positive is what we're seeing tonight, which is we are all for free speech, and we will do whatever it takes to protect that. And we've done that now since the founding of our nation. And no one on earth could ever doubt that or question that. So that's where we are. This is a great night. And this is just, 90 days away from the election in Guyana. We're going to have a great time, Mark.
We are going to have a great time indeed. Tom Anderson. Tom, a couple of weeks ago, there was a Paku who went in front of the White House, a PPP Paku. Forget his name, but he was charged with beating. I think he skipped the country. He allegedly he beat up some woman, and then he skipped the country, and then he went to jail for beating up some person over some all sort of things that's happening there. And so that person was in front of the White House, saying that PNC bad and there are folks over here who are threatening the PPP, and all of these things backfired. Those guys are stone cold criminals, if you ask me. But yet they feel they are the only ones who have the right to speak and who have the right to say things, and nobody else does. And so I just wonder how they may be feeling right now. Having said that, though, Jack Deere recently at his press conference, one of his, if you want to call that a press conference, said that that they are going to go after people. And this is dangerous, Tom, that they are going after people. And they're going to charge them with these trumped up treason charges. We know who those people are they're going after. Almost 100 of them, Tom, are languishing in jail right now on those trumped up terrorism charges. The nation has to make noise for those people. Now, Tom, interestingly, Jack Deere, he said that that those individuals, they are going to make it difficult because they're going to target these individuals, which is what he's doing, mainly government opposition politicians and supporters. And so once they charge them with terrorism charges and so forth, when they apply for a visitor's visa or so, it's going to be difficult for them. How dare that guy to sit there and to utter those sort of garbage comments, and everything goes lightly? It shows exactly what you said, that this is a dictatorship that's creeping up. And Marco Rubio knows all about dictatorship. And there is, of course, a difference between Mike Pompeo and Marco Rubio. There are certain things, regardless of what he may feel, and he may shake the PPP's hands, but there are certain things Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of State, is not going to accept. And we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel, Tom. Thank you, as always, for your time. 89 days, or is it still 90? Are we going to keep saying 90 days? 90 days?
It'll be 90 days until like the day before, man.
90 days until the day before. So we got to get you guys, you got to go out and you support Tom for that book. Tom, it's on Amazon, right?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's Barnes and Noble. It's everywhere. Target, even Target. Well, actually,
really?
There's a boycott on Target right now, so maybe not. Let me not say that. Go buy a Target.
But you know, when is that available? Is it available now?
Yeah, October 15th. October 15th.
October 15th.
Yeah.
Right after the election.
You know, I want to say something to Francine Cruz. She goes, "Why should Guyanese link up with the country of injustice, the USA?"
Don't word Francine.
I want to say something.
I was just about to, Francine Cruz should be the last person to be talking, and I'm sorry we're talking about Francine Cruz, who somebody accused Francine of always stealing bingo money. Francine is my elderly friend at a nursing home. And good night to all the folks there in that nursing home. I have nothing personal against, but Francine Cruz always off there. Don't bingo money, Francine. But go ahead if you want to make a point.
But yeah, I'm just gonna say, look, like we have been a nation of injustice in many, many ways, but we've also been a nation of justice as well. Okay, so the one thing that you should look at and you should judge America by, I believe, is look at the African American, the Black American population. Seriously, look at our population, because you know we've gone through generations of essentially living under sanctions. Basically, is what we've had to go through, and it hasn't been easy. But if you look at our history and you look at how we've progressed, we've done it with this government of injustice. Yes, we have. And so out of this injustice of a government, we have gotten some justice. We have. It's not what we want, but we have gotten it, and we know how to get it, right? And so as a Black American, and as I come on the show, I have a unique perspective when I speak about, you know, a nation like Guyana partnering with America. Like, I understand exactly what the dangers are in such a partnership. I also understand what the benefits are. And I also understand how to operate and work with the United States government, because I've lived it and it hasn't been easy. Trust me when I tell you, but life is not easy, right? So with that said, you guys have an expert on that comes on a lot. And my expertise, it may not be found in a PhD, but it's found in a PhD of living life here in the United States as a Black American successfully. Because let me tell you, I started off homeless in a tent with my family. I'm public educated and publicly educated. I've been in public schools my entire life. I did a lot to educate myself, though, right? And I am a learner. I love learning. But with that said, it's important to know that people like me are out here. We're here to try to share with the people of Guyana what the lessons we've learned, and to try to help you in the partnership that you have now with the United States. Okay. And hopefully you guys can heed some of our words that we share, and you can use it to better your relationship with our country. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's what these conversations are about when I come on Mark's show every night. So I really appreciate you guys coming on and listening, because it's important that you guys take what I'm saying and listen to it, because it's rare that you're going to get this type of information from anyone in the United States, because I'm coming from a very unique place. But with that said, it's a place that benefits the nation of Guyana. It's almost like it was fate. And so it benefits you guys greatly. I'm glad I can be that person. And I just want to continue to do it. And I just want to continue to see Guyana blossom and do really, really well, guys.
Thank you so much, Tom. And you've been doing that for how long now? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, a long time, man.
Yeah. Long time indeed.
Yeah.
Tom Anderson, over 15 years, I think. And we got to get that Banks beer, Tom. 90 days before elections, 90 days. Let me just say, Francine Cruz has been listening to us for quite a while. We know that Francine Cruz is elderly, does live in a nursing home. It's okay, Francine. It is no insults. It's a nursing home. I have relatives in a nursing home too. So, folks, I don't want you guys to think that I'm picking on Francine and with bingo money and allegedly stealing bingo. It's okay, because you have Jack Dave and those guys, they're stealing hundreds of millions of dollars in Guyana, taxpayers' money, thieving people's lands, poor people's lands, thousands upon thousands of acres they've given away to their friends and their cronies. And so, Francine, cheer up. Don't let the bingo money get to you. But when you talk about America, of course, all of us, maybe our tax-paying dollars is helping Francine Cruz and that nursing home as well. Again, I'm just picking on Francine. Tom, thank you so much. All of you guys, Commissioner Cole, we see Diane Mitchell and Lloyd and Fidel, and all of you, Wayne Sees and the crew, Madhu, everybody. God bless you all. If you're celebrating your birthday, happy birthday anniversary to you. If you have lost a loved one, our prayers are with you. But don't forget, guys, this weekend, in fact, Sunday, the Guyana Independence Parade, June 1st, that is, Adriana Young's parents are going to be there. Her two siblings are going to be there as well. Her aunt, oh yeah, this aunt, this one here, she's going to be there.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr. Ali, I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not
being a scrape and a tug. This Sunday, go out there and continue to speak freely. you're in America. You're protected. All of us are protected. And so don't ever let Jack Deere scare you guys, or Irfan or Anil. At least I never did. I don't worry with those crazy guys. Tom, you say a prayer for your friend as you go to bed, man.
Doggy. Hey, good night, Doggy. You know, I said he was a bad guy. I don't know, dog. I can't say that, but his actions have been bad. I just hope that he can be a leader, a good leader, because he is a natural leader. Okay, Doggy is a natural leader, man. I just hope that he can find it in himself to lead the people who follow him in a more productive way, man, and not street fights like we were back in middle school.
All right. Thank you so much, Guyana. We love Guyana. Tom, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Good night, guys. Take care.
Tom Anderson there for you guys. And look out, there will be a couple more endorsements. The PPP, couple more endorsements. We already know who they are. A couple of them have already gone. They're bonding together, right? All of them, they're bonding together. Let's go to Freedom House. I think we want a quick comment from Bond. Hey, are you there? Can you tell us why you were out there slaving for the PPP? Bond, operator, do we have Bond on the phone from Freedom House? Yes, go ahead. Answer the question, please, Bond. All right, thank you so much, dear Bond. You've expressed yourself, but I'm sure you've expressed yourself on behalf of the others, like you, if you know what I mean. All right, we'll end with Fata. Fata said something here, and read between the lines, guys. Read between the lines. Guyana will be able to breathe again. People are waking up. Thank you so much, Fata. I appreciate your views. I appreciate this opinion of Fata.
I don't care what family you guys in. I am not leaving my house. I left because my children and cry for me 2 nights straight because of customers. Me, I am staying out of the mix-up of Guyana. I don't want to go nowhere and nobody damage me. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Anything going on in this country, I never see, I never know. I don't want to know. Anybody come and say, I can block them too. Me, Doggy, I ring my ears. Doggy, see my ears, eh? I ring my ears, Doggy. Oh, Doggy, I ring my ears. Huh?
Tomorrow, there's a so-called press conference. From the beginning of the press conference, it's just going to be one way all the time, because Jack Deere has absolutely nothing to offer the nation, nothing to say. And as soon as he starts his so-called press conference tomorrow, it's going to be this. Take a listen while I wish you all a great night. God bless you. Continue to pray for Guyana. Over to Jack Deere.